For today's podcast transmission audio, I have been thinking about what would make sense to explore today. And really, I'm just jumping on the mic and reminding myself that this is just a creative challenge. And most of the messages that feel really resonant and that I feel really excited by is what's coming through in this present moment. And so, what feels really alive for me right now is rest. I had a really bad dream last night, and it was really vivid, and it caused me to wake up a few times. It was also really hot. I'm on my cycle. So, there was a lot going on. And so, I woke up not as rested as I would have liked, as I thought I had planned. And so I allowed myself, and I'm grateful for this, to start my day slowly and easefully and gracefully and with patience. And so I let myself get up when I needed to, when I was ready, and slowly started my day. I knew what I needed was, finish my skincare, hydrate myself, and nourish myself with breakfast, and to take care of my stomach to not scarf down food. I got to catch up with my sister as she was also in the kitchen, and it was nice to just socialize and think about our summer plans as well. And through that, I got to nourish myself, take some time to stroll in our backyard, and see what is going on with our plants. And when you slow down, you really get to notice new things that you often miss. And so when I was taking a look at our pear tree, I noticed a new little insect friend that I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't go outside and if I didn't even take my time to slow down and pay attention to each of the leaves. There was this, I don't even know what kind of insect it was, but it was camouflaged because it was green and it wasn't necessarily like a leaf plant or a leaf bug or like a stick bug, but it was like this light green. It was really thin and it had these really long feelers um yeah, and it was this lovely reminder that there could be really delightful surprises and um, people or creatures that could appear if you were to slow down and take your time. And in this capitalist society that at least I'm in, um, we are discouraged from that because we are pushed to hustle and grind, and that our value is placed on our productivity. And that was something that really fueled me for so long. And it took a while for me to unlearn and undo from my body. And even still, it'll still creep up on me because it's been so embedded, even ancestrally, in my DNA, especially with immigrant parents and their focus and my ancestors' focus was on survival. And so a lot to unravel and uncover and untangle. And I'm grateful to be able to have the capacity and the space and the resources to do so. And yeah, so that was my morning. And with that, I was able to slowly wake up my brain and get into my tasks for the day. And I was able to get through them fairly focused. I was feeling a little sleepy, but I did make sure to start with my morning rituals. And I think that is something that could be really helpful to ground you in, especially if, whether you have a 9 to 5 or you're running your own business, it is something to help me get back into my own energy and set that foundation first before I start creating or doing or producing for others. And so lately, I would say the past several months, my morning ritual and morning routine consists of meditation or hypnosis audio with journaling and movement, dance, moving my hips to a song that makes me feel good and awake, connected with my body, going outside, and doing more movement or stretches or some kind of exercise, which I usually reserve for later in the day. But even just like some kind of meditation or something to connect with my internal world, journaling to release anything from the previous day or that morning, and then movement like dancing or taking a walk and getting fresh air have been really key components to ground myself and set up a really strong foundation for each day. And to have that as my anchor to look forward to know that I can rely on has been really helpful, even when I have really busy moments. Um, it allows me to have this clear channel within myself or to feel regulated. Um, and it's something that I highly recommend folks and invite them into exploring and discovering what that could be for you. And I think different components of that could be helpful, like what I shared, some kind of movement, some kind of internal reflection, and getting fresh air, I think can be really key, even if it is only for a few minutes for each practice. Like, let's say 5 minutes each, 15 minutes total. And that could have been a few TikToks that you watched, which you can replace with something instead more nourishing for you. And as I continue to anchor in and caring for myself and allowing myself to move slowly, again, it allowed me to have my creativity, um, come from a more energized place, even if I was moving more slowly. Because if I were to just have jumped into my freelance work and creating content, social graphics, and reels for one client, I would have been feeling stretched and drained and just like pulling from a dry well, an empty well. But because I was able to at least have some kind of grounding into myself and support myself first, I was able to have the capacity to be inspired, to create, and it made it more easeful and easy. And I remember moments where, especially when I was working in an agency, where it was just jumping into work straight away. I didn't create space or a morning ritual to connect with myself. I would jump out of bed, get ready, run with some kind of toast or something for breakfast as I caught the train or the bus to get to work, and then speed walk real quick from the station to my office, and then open up my laptop and appear productive because it was this shared space. I didn't have my own office or cubicle. And there was no easing into the workday. It was just, okay, appear productive, start working, start answering emails and everything. And it takes a lot. It, especially for creative work, it took a lot out of me. And it was somewhat, in a way, um, I don't know what the word is, anti something, like the opposite of what is actually necessary for creative work. Because creativity is just so outside the box. It's not rigid, it's free flowing, it's improv, it's messy, and it needs time and space and different stimuli and environments to get that inspiration, to get that energy, to be able to channel intuitively the ideas to come to you more easily. And a space like an office where you have the routine every day is not conducive to that. And if you are working a 9 to 5 or part time or freelance work, there are ways to be able to nurture that, but it is about exploring what that is for you and what that could be relevant to your work. Is it creating that morning routine to be able to be open to your intuition, to your creativity? And is it also being able to create that space during the lunch break? And what do you do to take care of yourself afterwards, after the work hours? So these are different things where you can still insert moments of care and rest, even if you do have several responsibilities and you're taking care of children and whatever that lifestyle is for you currently. It's getting creative and innovative in creating those pockets of time to care and nurture yourself. Just like I think about in emergencies for the plane, where they say to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on a child or person you're taking care of next to you. Because we won't be able to support and care for others if we ourselves are drowning or don't have oxygen. And it just becomes um, this futile attempt to push through when we're at 0% ourselves. And it's tough, especially when we are socialized to give, 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 and be hustling all the time. It feels indulgent to care for ourselves. And it's something that I continue to unravel myself. I have felt guilty and it felt like extra and it felt like I can't make the time and it's something that I can't do until the weekend or I'll keep pushing it off. But when I have been reminded or rather scolded by loved ones or mentors to actually take that time to like it's actually part of the work. It's actually vital to the creative process, to my business, to ideation, to brainstorming, to my um creativity and my offerings. Like it's all entangled and informed by my rest. And rest is so vital to our to just like our livelihood. And it is our birthright to be able to rest easily. But there are so many factors and oppressive systems at play that make this almost impossible for so many folks. So, so if we think about it in that way, it's rather radical to be able to reclaim our rest. And so that's something that I am reflecting on, especially today, feeling a bit more tired and slow and sleepy, but knowing that that is okay and that I am not less valuable because I'm not producing at the rate and the speed that I usually am. And it's also the beginning of my menstruation cycle, my bleed. And that also adds to the slowness that I'm welcoming in, especially those who bleed, who have a womb, that we have to remember we are not meant to work on the 9 to 5 cycle, which is based off of the 24/7 hormone cycle of on testosterone. We are meant to move seasonally and cyclically, like the seasons, like the moon. And so for me, this week is allowing in slowness and how beautiful and sacred that is, and that I can still be so attuned to my work, to my creativity, my intuition, and my dreams have been more heightened and more vivid. And it is historically, for so many cultures, indigenous cultures, is a sacred time to be connected with my cycle. And so these are some things that I've been reflecting on and some things I'm really excited about integrating more into my creative process and remembering to honor this part of the work. The rest is the work, the slowness is the work, and it is sacred. And so that's what I'll leave you with for today.